A new Pokemon game came out a couple days ago as of recording this. Every time I say I'm back, I feel like something happens. So I'm gonna stop saying I'm back before something happens. So if you're wondering where I've been, caught COVID, I'm better now. Don't worry about it. And that's it. I haven't played it yet. Not that I don't want to, I just haven't gotten around to it. Luminous Avenger X2 came out the same day, and I wanted to play that one a bit more. That's regardless of the fact, that those games, they came out and they're doing pretty well. The reception of those pretty well. I think. I don't know. Pokemon fans are weird. But with the new Pokemon game coming out, it had me thinking, I don't know about any of you guys, but growing up as a fan of both Pokemon and Digimon, if I ever told anyone I liked Digimon, they would always reply to me with the same answer. Stop me if you know where I'm going, especially if you're a Digimon fan. I don't know if anyone else had to deal with this, but definitely in America, a lot of people would say, oh, Digimon, you mean like the Pokemon ripoff? And I would always be like, no, stupid, it's not a Pokemon ripoff, and it's not. Just to dispel any, rumors, it's not. But for the longest time, people always thought that it was just some kind of ripoff of Pokemon. So I actually wanted to make a little list here and list off some things that Pokemon actually ripped off from Digimon. And don't worry, I got receipts for this. I have dates and everything. These are things that Pokemon took from Digimon. These are things that Digimon did first, before Pokemon, and then Pokemon did something either almost exactly the same or extremely similar. This is going to probably piss some people off, but let's go! I'm going to go with the ones that are a bit more of a stretch first, because they're not as clean-cut, obvious as some of the other ones, in my opinion. So first of all, we have Grooky and Manmon. Alright, so Grooky and Manmon, obviously they're both based off of the same animal. So you could obviously say, well, they're both based on the same animal. But I mean, I'm sorry. Ever since I first saw Grooky, and a lot of people were joking about this when Grooky was first released, it looks a lot like Manmon. I mean, they're both green monkeys. Grooky just looks like if I were to show you Manmon and tell you, can you make this design into a modern Pokemon design? And I feel like you would get Grooky. Alright, again, it's a bit of a stretch, but they are just so similar. There are other Digimon and Pokemon that share, like, the same animal or the same, like, Japanese mythological creature, and they don't look as similar as Grooky and Manmon do. They look just way too similar. You can argue with me about that in the comments all you want, but in my opinion, I just feel like they are just way too similar for me to be comfortable about it. Now here's another one. Back in X and Y in 2013, Pokemon introduced a temporary, stronger evolutionary form of Digimon, or Pokemon, sorry. Okay, I'm going to do that a lot this video. And that was Mega Evolutions. Mega Evolutions were debuted sometime in 2013. I know they showed up in Pokemon Origins before they showed up in the games, but I think that was like around the same year anyway. So 2013 is when these came out. And again, Mega Evolution, temporary burst of evolution. It is temporary. It's not a step above. It's just a really like a side step. It's a bit stronger. And Digimon did this literal years before Pokemon did this. So the first time we ever see anything close to this was Burst Mode or Blast Mode. I forgot which one's which, but Blast Mode showed up on the XL in 2005. The Digimon XL is one of the V-Pets. It introduced a temporary burst evolution, where it was a temporary, stronger evolution, changed the design a bit. It was obviously the same Digimon, but the design changed. They became a bit more edgier. They got like more extra spikes and stuff like that, and they shot this gigantic burst out, and then they de-digivolved back to their normal form. And then in Digimon Sabers, the anime, which came out in 2006, they took that same idea and kind of ran with it a bit more, and that was Blast Mode. Blast Mode, same thing here, or is it Burst Mode? I always get them mixed up. But either way, same idea. The Digimon get this temporary, stronger version of themselves. The design changes slightly, and they are stronger. And it's not a permanent evolution, it is a temporary one, and they kind of go back to their normal form. It's like the same idea. It's like exactly the same idea. The fact that they're called mega evolutions is kind of funny too. That really, it's just a coincidence if you ask me. Mega in America is called ultimate in Japan. So the fact that they're called mega evolutions, you could say, oh, they're copying, but that I think it's just a coincidence. But the fact that, you know, this idea of a temporary kind of burst of evolution that doesn't last long, was already done way before they did. Now we got the Pokewalker. So the Pokewalker is just straight up a Digimon toy. I mean, it's an LCD toy that you can walk around and count your steps. You can get items. You fight other Pokemon in it. You get to load in a certain Pokemon in there to walk with them, and then you can transfer your data to and from the game. This is just a Digivice toy. Digimon was doing this way before Pokemon was doing it. Pokemon did this in 2009. Even before that, back in 2002 and 2003, with the WonderSwan, which is never released in America. A lot of the Digimon games that were on the WonderSwan had connectivity with the toys at the time. So the Digivice toys were able to connect to the WonderSwan. You could kind of trade items and also trade Digimon and unlock things on the actual Digivice through the game. Pretty much replicated and done in the Pokewalker. Now, I think the Pokewalker is done a lot more concisely. It's a lot less sloppy. A lot of the ways that WonderSwan connectivity worked with the D3 and the D-Arc was a lot more complicated. Even if you take away the fact that it's all in Japanese, I just think the way it works is just a lot more complicated. The Pokewalker is a lot more concise of a system where it's all in one. You kind of just transfer a Pokemon to and from, and you can go on a little adventure. But this whole idea of a device that is connected to the actual game, and just the device itself, it's very much like a Digivice toy or even some of the V-Pets. And I mean, I always wanted this set growing up because it reminded me of the Digimon toys, because I always played with those growing up. Now they're super expensive, just like Digivices. Now, to kind of keep on this subject of Pikachu / Pokemon kind of pocket LCD toys, we also have the Pocket Pikachu. Now, the Pocket Pikachu came out in 1998. Now, I will say, this does predate the original Digimon Adventure Digivice by a good solid year. However, if I'm not mistaken, the production / development of the original Digivice started sometime in 1998. So they still came out around the same time. Although the Pocket Pikachu does come out before, it's still very much like a Tamagotchi / Digimon V-Pet toy. You kind of walk around with him. It counts your steps. Now, this is, again, technically being done before the Digimon Adventure Digivice came out, because that's the first Digivice toy, period. But it's also the first device that, like, counted your steps and was like a pedometer pet. The idea behind this toy, it's just so similar. I mean, look at it. It obviously, I mean, it looks like a Game Boy, but I mean, just the idea behind this. I mean, Bandai with the Tamagotchi is pretty much responsible for the V-Pet / LCD toy boom. Everything else after that is just kind of like riding that wave. And this is something that, again, Bandai / Digimon did before, these kind of like interactive pets that you can carry around with. Now, Pikachu can't die. And like I said, that's something that they ended up putting into the Digivice for Digimon Adventure the following year. But like I said, 98 is when they started working on it. So do with that what you will. I'm going to say Digimon did it first. Here is another one. Now this one is a lot more obscure. And this is something I didn't know about until years ago. And I mean, this came out back in 2011, but I didn't hear about it until maybe 2016 at the earliest. And there was a manga that came out in Japan, Pokemon manga, called Pokemon Reburst, which is weird. So this whole thing is just a really weird idea. And this is totally like, there's no way they were not in some way inspired by Digimon. So back in Digimon Tamers, which debuted in Japan in 2001. It's the third season of Digimon, everyone's favorite, mine included. Towards the end, the Tamers and the Digimon fuse into one being. It's called Matrix Evolution in the actual anime, and all the Tamers, like I said, fuse with their Digimon, and they become like one, being. And then they kind of took that idea and ran with it in the following season, Digimon Frontier, with the Spirit Evolution and the Beast Spirit Evolution, where again the humans fuse with Digimon, except the Digimon aren't like how they normally are. But it's still the idea of like a human taking a form of a Digimon becoming a Digimon. In Pokemon Reburst, it's like the same idea as Frontier / Tamers, where there are the Pokemon. This is fucking up because we have Tamers and Trainers in Pokemon and Digimon. But either way, the Trainers fuse with certain evolutions, and this is called Burst Evolution. Not the same as the Burst Evolution from Digimon, but still, it's weird that it's called Burst Evolution. And also, again, you have a very similar idea where these Digimon are fusing with the humans, and then the humans fight instead of like the Digimon. I just said Digimon again today. Pokemon, human, fuse, and then the human Pokemon hybrids fight each other. It is crazy. This thing didn't last very long. I think it only lasted a couple volumes. It was a very short-lived manga back in 2011. I just don't think Digimon fans weren't even crazy about this kind of idea, so I don't think it would have went over well with Pokemon fans either, and the idea was subsequently scrapped. We've never seen anything like this ever again, but still, it's very strange that in 2011 Pokemon would do this, and this is 100% total ripoff. Out of all of these, this one is the most egregious. Like, this is straight up like a Digimon idea that Pokemon tried to do and capitalize on, and it just didn't work for them. So there you go. Now, we're back to some of the stretchier ones. These last two are a bit of a stretch. I'm going to straight up flat out say it. But I'm sticking to my guns here. There's just something about these just like set off my radar. There's like something too specific about both of these that just seem a little too close for comfort. Now, this one is a lot more obvious than the other one, but in 2012, Pokemon Black and White 2 came out. Now, in the lore of Pokemon Black and White, there was one big, strong dragon boy. There were these two twins that were fighting. The dragon splits into 3. One goes to each brother, and then there is the kind of shell or husk left behind, and that is Kyurem. So, in Pokemon Black and White 2, the main bad guy is trying to make the big bad dragon again by fusing Kyurem with the other two dragons. Now, depending on what version of the game you get, he only fuses with one half. You don't get the full version in the game, sadly. That would have been a cool idea to see, but they never did that. Obviously, they don't fuse together organically, but it's still the fact that they fuse into kind of one being that's made of two different Pokemon. It's very similar to Jog Wrestling. Jog Wrestling started in 1999 on the Digimon Pendulum, and then we got kind of DNA Digivolution, which was done later on in the Digimon Adventure anime in 99, and also the Digimon Adventure 02 anime, which followed it, where two Digimon were to fuse, and it's more obvious that they are two Digimon combined together. Things like Omnimon, things like Pyodramon, they obviously, you can see the different Digimon that made the one Digimon. And Kyurem White and Black are very similar to that idea, where you have two Pokemon, they're fused together, and you can see the different parts of the other Pokemon in the currently fused Pokemon. It just feels a lot like how Digimon does Jog Wrestling, at least in the animes. It's very, very strange. Very strange. And here's the last one. This is something that I feel like when Pokemon did this, it just reminded me of something. So in 2005, Digimon introduced the X Evolutions. X Evolutions are more edgy, glowier versions of existing Digimon designs. All of the X Evolution Digimon were designed by one guy. His name is Ozma, and they all share this very similar aesthetic, and that aesthetic is They have some kind of glowing, or they either glow or they have some kind of light emitting aspect to them in some way. Either like their swords glow now, or like their digicores glow, or just they have this glow to them in general. It's just something he does with a lot of those designs. Now, when Gigantamax became a thing in Sword and Shield, there was something about some of the Gigantamax forms that just kind of like seemed similar to me. And I just feel like a lot of the Gigantamax forms, a lot of them have more angular looks to them. A lot of them have these parts of them that like glow. They emit light. You know, I think of Machamp's Gigantamax, his like eyes glow. He looks a lot like Ultraman too. That's definitely an Ultraman reference, but still his eyes like have this glow to them. His entire body like has this kind of like, it lets off this glow. Look at Charizard Gigantamax again, he just like, it lets off this like, he emits this kind of glow to him. And I just feel like that's oddly similar to X Evolutions and how the official X Evolution art looks like, where all of them have this kind of glow to them and all of them have this kind of edgier look to them. I know to some people, Gigantamaxing is like a sidestep to Mega Evolutions. It's you could consider it an evolution, but most people prefer Megas. Either way, obviously this is a kind of revamp of that whole Mega Evolution system. But we already pretty much said that Mega Evolutions is kind of a little bit of a ripoff in and of itself. So it's just weird. I don't know. I'm getting the vibe. Like, just something about these two feel similar to me. Okay, call me, Digimon fanboy or whatever. I love both of these series and these franchises. Honest. This is something about these two that just, I don't know. This is like, set something off. I'm just like, these just feel similar to me. And then there we go. That's pretty much it. So let me know what you think about these little weird things here. Do you think that Pokemon really did rip off Digimon? Do you think that Digimon is just a rip off of Pokemon and that's never gonna change your mind? Is there anything else that you feel like is very weird that both of these series share? Hey, you know anything that Digimon does that totally rips off Pokemon? Let me know. I'd like to know. I will see you guys when I see you guys. Take care, and maybe we'll be streaming Pokemon Legends Arceus the moment I buy it. So keep an eye on the streams. I stream every week, Thursdays, around 9 p.m. EST. Figure out whatever that is in your time. Bye! Peace!